Thank you. I want to drink this in a little bit. Thanks for giving me this opportunity to speak about my friend Greg. What an amazing place this is. Haverford baseball has come a long way. Anybody who's been involved with this program as long as I have or these guys have knows Haverford baseball has come a long way. Wendy, Coach Beccaria, Coach Crowley, Coach Morgan, another tired old alum thanks you. And I'd say put me in, Coach, but I'd probably pull a hamstring. How many of you have joined us here today can honestly attest to Greg Kannerstein having had some improvement, some favorable benefit on your life? Just some. Think about this now. How many of us here can even dream that 10 people would raise their hands if asked the same question about their role in our lives? I hope when people think about why this field is named after Greg that it's a call to action more than a memorial, because what Greg did was so active, so kinetic and strategic, sometimes really subtle, but so effective on behalf of literally thousands of people. The scale and impact of Greg's art is hard to fathom. Everyone always speaks of Greg as this connector who could somehow keep track of all the people in our community and so many other people beyond Haverford and how he was so selfless about it. But Alyssa can tell you, Greg wasn't necessarily so selfless about that. In fact, what I learned during my last conversations with him was that Greg was extremely proud of it. It was more than his identity. I mean, it had to be, right? He was so good at it and so prolific. It had to be more. He added so much value to so many lives, many times over for everyone here, and even others who never met him. In the nearly 30 years I've been involved with Haverford as an alum, the running joke I've shared with our college presidents and development heads has been that our school's motto may as well be that we're proud of our modesty. Well, what Greg was really proud of is a gift he gave all of us. Really, really proud of it. And when I think about where he sits in the pantheon of Haverford figures and how Haverford is so proud of its modesty, I think that's fantastic. I mean, what a thing to be proud of. So many of us derived a deeper benefit than the connectivity I spoke of about Greg, but what he gave all of us was something smarter and something more honest, usually something more uplifting too. Think of this benefit, Greg benefit that I asked about before, and how every one of us can continue this in our own way by giving some extra thought toward an introduction we make to somebody, or an internship we provide, or counseling to someone here that goes beyond an introduction. That's what memorializing this field should mean to all of us. Do you know about Greg's involvement in civil rights efforts in the Deep South in the early 60s, or the years he was a member of the Baseball Writers Association in America? How about that Harvard PhD? Anyone speak about any of that stuff? I never did. I'm very proud of this place and my own affiliation with it, but especially what the naming of this baseball field represents. When I think of Greg's legacy and what it means in the context of all his achievements, I'm even prouder. That's what it boils down to. When I think about Greg, I think, what can I do? Do you guys in the team now take this one message from another middle-aged alum who's going to tell you, like all the other middle-aged alums do, how sweet you have it here? Within this community, the more you give, the more you add, the more benefit you yourselves will derive over the fullness of time, short-term and long-term. I see that because I'm part of this team. When I played here, we beat Villanova, Penn, a guy named Jamie Moyer on this field from St. Joe's. We beat those guys right here. But none of that was core to my baseball experience at Haverford. And all the baseball alums will tell you the same thing. It wasn't about the games. After finishing here, first while teaching in DC, I coached future Haverford players. Guys like Josh Burns, Jeremy Edwards, Thaddeus Levine, John Feroff. Great to see some of these guys here today. These men are part of the proud face of this program's alums, not because they're celebrated names in athletic circles. They can't tell you what their batting averages were, or anything like that. I'm sure, none of these guys could either. Tony Petiti couldn't, Billy Belt couldn't, Jerry. No way. That's not the point. They're all your teammates, and we will remain your teammates. I look around here today and see other teammates too, wildly accomplished men who've come from as far away as Europe for this. Tony Zimandera just showed up driving 6 hours from Central Virginia for this. That's fantastic. We're all your teammates, and so is Greg. Another teammate of yours and mine is Kevin Morgan, who's given so much to everyone he's come into contact with here. I want everyone to give Coach Morgan a big round of applause in gratitude for what he's done to make this field a reality. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Mark, and thank you. It's great to see so many people here today. This alone is a tribute to Greg, the fact that so many people have come out to honor his memory and to dedicate the field today. Greg had many, many special gifts, and the one that I'd like to highlight today is the fact that he frequently saw the best version of someone before they saw it in themselves. Let me repeat that. He had the uncanny knack to oftentimes see the best version of someone before they could even see it in themselves. And for someone who worked with countless numbers of college students, it was truly, truly inspiring. Now, Greg loved baseball, and in particular, he loved Haverford College baseball. It was his baby. From the time, his playing days to his coaching days to afterwards when he was director of baseball operations, or as I like to call him all the time, Dobo. This was something that was really, really important to him. For those people who had the honor of playing with Greg, for those people who were coached by him, for the people in our program today, and for future generations of Haverford College baseball players, it's a great honor to be able to play at Kannerstein Field. Thank you. And now, Wendy Smith, our Director of Athletics. Wendy?
I would like to thank everyone for joining us today to dedicate Kannerstein Field. And I would especially like to thank our generous donor and the college for providing this opportunity to create such a fitting testament to Greg and his invaluable contributions to the college. This is a gathering that Greg would have loved. The chance to catch up with all of you, exchange gossip, catch up on jobs, families, and surely he would have been the one that gave somebody a little tip about the confidential presidential search. He would have enjoyed this beautiful afternoon watching his favorite team play his favorite game, and he definitely would have slipped into those conversations, how proud he was of the current head coach, Dave Beccaria, and the job he's done with this program. And through it all, he would have enjoyed the day with his family, and especially his granddaughter, Edie, upon whom he doted. Family was very important to Greg. He had his set outings with Alyssa, and although he was a great AD and always answered his cell phone, and I'm sorry I'm the one that knows that, he always bragged about Sarah and her latest accomplishments, was proud to have Kevin as his son-in-law, and as I said, was completely smitten by Edie. Every day we'd have new pictures plastered around the office about Edie's latest doings and everything else. He was so proud of you. And then there was his Haverford family, which included all of his former players, anyone who worked or attended Haverford, anyone with whom he came in contact through Haverford, and everyone else by connection. He loved keeping up with what everyone was doing. He always had time for people whenever they would pop into his office, always an ear to listen, and words to calm, encourage, congratulate, or whatever was needed at the moment. Greg loved Haverford, and we all loved Greg. It is my great honor to be here today and share in this dedication ceremony to remember all that Greg gave to Haverford. At this time, I would like to invite Greg's family up to help with the unveiling of the plaque. So for those of you that might not be able to see it from where you're standing, the plaque, which will be affixed to the side of the baseball press box, says Kannerstein Field, in loving memory of Greg Kannerstein, 1963, alumnus, teacher, dean, coach, friend, for the students he mentored, the lives he enhanced, and the hearts he touched. During his 41 years at the college, Greg was Mr. Haverford. Dedicated April 21st, 2012. To throw out the first ceremonial pitch, we have Edie Carey, escorted by Bill Belt and Jerry Maraglia. Let's give her a big hand. Let's play ball.